Chosen ones at higher consciousness never starve for attention, and that's exactly why attention keeps finding them. During spiritual awakening, one of the most confusing pains is watching louder, weaker people get credit while you stay unseen. You do the work. You carry the weight. Yet recognition feels delayed, denied, or redirected. This video is not about chasing applause. It's about understanding why your path works differently, and how not chasing recognition is the very thing that upgrades your power, your influence, and your future. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll stop feeling invisible and start moving with a calm authority that can't be ignored. There's a quiet moment every chosen one experiences, usually alone, usually late at night. You look at your effort and ask a dangerous question. Why doesn't anyone see this? Not because you need praise, but because you've been carrying more than most people ever notice. That question is the fork in the road. One path leads to chasing validation. The other leads to becoming undeniable. Most people never see that fork. They run straight toward recognition like it's oxygen. They adjust their personality, their values, even their truth just to be noticed. And they don't realize that the moment you chase recognition, you hand your power to the crowd. Chosen ones don't do that, not because they're arrogant, but because something deeper clicks inside them. They realize recognition that must be chased is never stable. It depends on moods, trends, politics, and timing. What depends on others can always be taken away. Here's the first shift that changes everything. Recognition is not proof of value. It's proof of visibility, and visibility often rewards noise, not depth. You've noticed this already. The loudest person in the room often has the least substance. The busiest talker often does the least meaningful work. Meanwhile, the person quietly mastering their craft, refining their mind and sharpening their discipline is often overlooked until suddenly they're not. This is where most people break. They start performing instead of progressing. They explain themselves too much. They post more. They talk louder. They lower their standards just to be acknowledged. Chosen ones feel that temptation, but they resist it, not because it's easy, because they sense that chasing recognition would slow them down. There's a hidden law of influence few people understand. The more desperate you are to be seen, the less seriously you're taken. Calm confidence unsettles people because it doesn't ask for permission. You don't announce your worth when you know it. You don't argue your value when you're building it. You don't beg for recognition when your presence already carries weight. At higher consciousness, you start seeing recognition for what it really is, a lagging indicator. It always arrives after mastery, never before it. This is why chosen ones often rise later, but rise cleaner. They don't peak early and burn out. They compound quietly, while others exhaust themselves chasing reactions. Think about the frustration you felt when your work wasn't acknowledged. That frustration wasn't meant to push you outward. It was meant to push you inward, toward refinement. Every time recognition doesn't come, something sharpens. Your patience, your discipline, your emotional independence. This is not punishment. This is preparation, because recognition before readiness destroys people. It inflates ego before skill. It attracts attention before stability. It puts pressure on foundations that aren't built yet. Chosen ones are protected from that, even when it doesn't feel like protection. Here's another shift that separates you from the crowd. When you stop chasing recognition, you gain clarity. You stop doing things to impress. You start doing things that last. Your decisions get quieter and smarter. Your energy stops leaking into proving yourself. Your focus narrows toward results, not reactions. People begin to feel something different around you. You're not rushing. You're not forcing conversation. You're not explaining your potential. That unsettles insecure minds. They can't place you. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And this is where the dynamic flips. Suddenly, people start watching instead of judging. They listen more closely. They mention your name when you're not in the room. Recognition begins moving toward you, not because you asked for it, but because your consistency created gravity. This is the irony most never understand. The moment you stop chasing recognition is the moment you become recognizable. There's also a deeper reason chosen ones avoid chasing praise. They know how addictive it is. Recognition can hijack your direction. You start optimizing for applause instead of alignment. You repeat what worked instead of evolving. You stay where you're celebrated instead of where you're meant to grow. Chosen ones feel discomfort quickly when that happens. They'd rather be underestimated and free than praised and boxed in. You've probably experienced this. The moment someone labels you, expectations follow. The moment expectations follow, pressure increases. The moment pressure increases, authenticity gets tested. So you step back. You stay flexible. You keep growing quietly. That's not fear. That's wisdom. Another truth most people miss. Recognition doesn't create confidence. Confidence creates recognition. If your confidence depends on external approval, it collapses the moment approval fades. Chosen ones build internal authority first. They trust their process even when no one's clapping. That trust shows up in the way you move, in how you speak less but say more, in how you don't rush to respond, in how you're comfortable being misunderstood for a while. Misunderstanding is temporary. Mastery is permanent. This path is lonely at times. Let's be honest about that. There will be moments when you wonder if you're invisible, moments when others advance faster, moments when you question if staying quiet is costing you opportunities. But here's the truth that flips everything. Nothing meant for you can miss you when you're ready for it. Chosen ones don't chase recognition because they're busy building something recognition can't ignore. They don't announce their next move. They don't argue with doubters. They don't react emotionally to being overlooked. They let time do the talking. And time always sides with substance. At some point, something shifts. A door opens unexpectedly. A conversation changes tone. An opportunity arrives without explanation. People call it luck. You'll know better. It was the compound effect of staying focused while others performed. Of staying grounded while others chased attention. Of staying disciplined while others burned energy proving themselves. That's when recognition arrives differently. Not as applause but as respect. Not as noise but as opportunity. Not as validation but as leverage. And when that happens, you don't cling to it. You don't need to, because you were never chasing it in the first place. Here's the breakthrough most people never reach. You were never meant to be recognized early. You were meant to be prepared deeply. The silence you endured shaped your clarity. The lack of praise strengthened your independence. The waiting refined your character. So stop questioning your pace. Stop measuring your worth by who's watching. Stop shrinking or performing just to be noticed. Stay committed to the work. Stay loyal to your standards. Stay patient with your process. Recognition will arrive, but it will arrive differently. Quietly, decisively, and permanently. If this connected with something you've been feeling but couldn't explain, thank you for watching until the end. Your journey isn't behind you. It's aligning in ways you can't see yet. Like the video, subscribe, and stay here, because this space is for those who don't chase attention, but build something that lasts.